What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Run it up for sure. JBRISKO, not no amateur. Run that shit, we at all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It is your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, earlier in the month of July, I got a DM from Miss Paper asking me to react to this young lady on TikTok. So apparently she started going to a therapist, or maybe met a therapist somewhere, or got recommended to a therapist and fell in love, it seems like. The title of her series is From Trust to Trauma, Dating My Therapist. Now, she got about 30 parts, and it looks like they're pretty lengthy to say the least, all right? So we gonna be here for a minute. You know I'm gonna cut this thing up into a couple of parts for y'all, but prepare to sit and chill with me. All right, so look, I hope you guys don't mind my attire, since we gonna be here for a long time and not a short time. I said I might as well be real comfortable, so I'm sitting here in my robe. I ain't do my edges, none of that. I just threw the scarf off and I cut the camera on. All right, look, I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you fuck with me like I fuck with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
So it all started at the end of 2022. I was in the most vulnerable places ever in my life. I was a full-time business owner, a wig stylist, and everything just came crashing down. I had some financial issues going on that took a strain on my personal finances, and it just led to me spiraling like real bad. During that time, you know, I had a few people that I could rely on and talk to keep my spirit uplifted, you know, while I was trying to, you know, get myself together with my business and everything. At the time, my car had went down. When it went down, I had to pay so much money to get it fixed. And when I did that, you know, I got behind on like my rent in my apartment. And then I also had to pay rent at the shop, which just completely took a toll on me, y'all. Like when I say I literally was at the bottom pit of like hell. I was so depressed, you know, so stressed out, that I needed an outlet. Like I needed someone that I can confide in, someone that I could talk to really pick myself up and move forward, you know? So my best friend, we're gonna call her Jasmine. Jasmine was currently in therapy, and she was on a different platform than the one I decided to go with. Only because I was working this seasonal job, and they was really big on mental health, and they were paying for sessions.
Okay.
So Jasmine was telling me all about her experience, on how great her sessions were, how she really connected with her therapist, and how helpful it was and everything. And so I was just like, you know, I'm inspired to give this a try, you know, let's see how it goes. So I ended up getting onto the platform where my job was paying for, and I ended up matching with a therapist. My therapist was Black and female, and what I needed help with, she specialized in. So I was really excited that I was finally going to get the help that I needed. I just wanted somebody I can talk to, be real with, and get some guidance on where I can move forward. So the platform that I decided to join is actually a virtual platform. So you can talk to a therapist through messaging, voice, or video. You got options. So I started mine out with audio. I honestly was just kind of figuring things out. I didn't really want to show my face. I was just like, I'm just I just ready to talk. So, in January is when I started my healing journey. I went on and signed up in January. Remember, in December is when everything was going down of 2022. January of that new year, 2023, is when I actually started my sessions. It was actually January 10th. It was 7 days, a week after my birthday. So, I ended up starting my journey with therapy. Like I said, I did audio sessions. I met with my therapist. The first session that we had was at night. Our first session was really good. It was an opening. She really thanked me for even giving therapy a chance. Because a lot of Black people don't really, prioritize our mental health like that. And so she was just saying how important and essential therapy is for us as a whole. So we went over things that I wanted to work on. I had homework. I had to write down the things that I needed assistance with, things that I really needed to prioritize at the time because I had a lot going on. But I had to narrow it down to like 3 things. It was about like my relationship and, my business and just my overall confidence, that I had lost. So after that session ended, I was already really, really nervous about therapy. I really didn't know what to expect. Jasmine, my best friend, was just like, girl, like, it's okay. It's going to be good. Don't be nervous. Like, this journey is going to be really, really beneficial. You're going to see. It's going to be very helpful. Just give it a chance. Keep at it. I'm glad you had a good first session. Like, just keep going. So that's what I did. I kept going. So I had another session with her. It was really, really good. I talked about, just kind of giving her like the rundown of my business, how I got started, where I fell off at, all the things that I had going on. And so we end up, finding out that I had PTSD because I had a hard time getting back to where I left off with it. Okay, so then the third session that we had, now mind y'all, I looked at toe up from the flow up every session, but she never knew because hell, we was doing audio only. I was so damn stressed out, y'all. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I looked at a hot mess. Like, it looked like I was getting ready to clean houses, okay? Like, it was crazy. So this third session, I was just talking about how I was trying to put myself back out there on social media because, I've always been really big on social media, inspiring others, giving business tips. And so she was just like, this is your journey. You should be comfortable with being you, be okay with putting that post out there. And then I was telling her how my ex had been coming in under my post. Every time I make a post, here she comes. And so it makes me not want to post. And she was just like, she got mad. She was just like, really? She was like, F her. Don't let her come and mess you up or don't let her interfere.
So I'm, automatically, which I shouldn't have done that. But let's be real, automatically, I'm thinking this was a heterosexual woman. Is this some LGBT? I need to know. Yeah, I think this is some LGBT. Now, I don't know if she is a lesbian, bisexual, or any of the other sexuals that deal with, because I don't know all of them. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't know all the sexuals, okay? So I don't know if she bisexual or a lesbian or some other sexual that likes, women and men. But I think this is a little bit of LGBT. Is she gonna fall in love with this therapist? And I know she said therapist was a woman, but I'm just thinking that maybe, y'all, let me stop. Let's go. It just got that much more interesting that quick.
Figure what you got going on. None of that. No. Just like really, really like got my back. You know what I'm saying? So she was just like, turn your camera on because I want to be able to see you say what I'm about to ask you to say. So at this point, y'all, like, I had actually looked it good that day because right after my session, I had somewhere to go. I had not intended on doing no damn video session showing my face. I didn't intend on doing none of that. But when she asked me, I was like, shit, I'm glad you didn't ask last week. So I had I didn't even notice that she had already turned her camera on. So when I looked down at my phone, she was on there. And she had locks. It was apparent that she looked like she was a stud. Like she, you know.
Snap.
But I wasn't really sure. You know, a lot of women have locks. But anyway, I picked up the phone. I turned the camera on. For a hot second, she paused. But then she went on and said what she said. She was just like, you know, I want you to tell me that you the shit. And I'm just like, I'm the shit. She was like, nah, say it with your chest. You the shit, right? So I'm saying I'm the shit, you know, all that stuff. So she was just like, I want you to remember that. And anytime you feeling down, I want you to repeat that and know that because you are. When I tell y'all her style of therapy was just so real, so authentic, so on point for me, I really feel like we were connected. So after that session, she had sent me a message in the chat. She was just like, you know, really great job with the session today. I'm glad that you was able to open up. You know, make sure you do your homework and all that good stuff. And she was just like, you know, if you want to schedule a video session, you know, next time you can do so or whatever. But I was just like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, it was cool, you know, connecting with you on a personal level. So due to TikTok's 10-minute timer limit, whatever, I'm going to have to create a part 2. So go ahead and drop part 2 in the comments, y'all. Follow me so you can follow the story. It gets deeper than deep, y'all.
Clearly. Because the whole time y'all see me, I was just taking it in. I was just like, okay, sis. You know what I'm saying? And just that one little bit of information. Sis, look, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm about to go get a snack, okay? I advise y'all to do the same. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I'm back. I got me some spicy and some original chicken bites, and we finna get it in. Let's go ahead and get into part 2. Let go.
Welcome back to my series, From Trust to Trauma, Dating My Therapist, part 2. Okay, so in part 1, I talked about where I was in life emotionally, what I was going through, and the reason that I even needed to start therapy. It wasn't even a want, it was a need. Okay, I was literally like about to take myself up out of here. Let's just say that. So I ended up meeting a therapist virtually on a platform that my job was paying for, that I had got. And I took advantage of the sessions. I talked about how we had a few sessions, and then we got to the third one where we actually saw each other face to face. So that's where we stopped at. Okay, so after my last session, throughout the week, my therapist would send me messages, you know, on a daily basis. One time I was on the phone with my best friend Jasmine, and we were chatting it up, and I was just like, hold on, girl, I got a message from like my therapist, because the notification would come up from the platform or whatever, says your therapist sent you a message. So, you know, I'm thinking that, you know, it was like a reminder of my session, or like something like automated or something, you know how that happens. But she actually had sent me a message. And she would send me affirmations, you know, saying things like, you are worthy, you're a goddess, you're halfway through the week, I'm so proud of you, just different things like that. I thought it was very, very nice. It was very thoughtful. My best friend, Jasmine, she was just like, she went with it. She was not buying it. She was like, you think she's sending these to anyone else? I don't know. It seems a little personal. I don't know about this girl. Like, I don't really know. I just feel like she like you or something. Like, I feel like ever since she saw you on video, she's been way more active. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think you're overthinking it. I really don't think it's that deep, honestly. So I can't.
Baby, you said your ex be commenting under your post, and then you turned around and said your ex is a woman. Bump seeing your face. That lesbian therapist got that little bit of information that she needed, which was, are you into women? Bump all the other stuff. Bump all the other stuff. When she found out you were into women, it was over.
I can't even lie, y'all. Like, I started to kind of get a little annoyed with my best friend. because I was just like, what are you getting at? Like, hold on, because you was all for me getting therapy, you was all for me starting this journey, but now you putting thoughts in my head and you making me feel a little, you know, a little discouraged or whatever, like I'm not, like my therapist is not the one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was just weird. I just felt like she was being extra or whatever. So I told her, I was just like, I just really think you're overthinking it. Like, I don't think it's that deep. So boom, we just dropped it. We just left it alone, honey. So fast forward that same week, at the end of the week, because this was probably like the early part of the week, maybe on a Tuesday or something, because my sessions be on Sundays. So at the end of the week, my best friend Jasmine, we had made plans for her to come to Birmingham from Tennessee, because she's from Tennessee. She was going to come to Birmingham for her birthday. We had a whole itinerary, a whole plan. We're going to come here, and she's going to come here. And we were going to hang out, and I was just going to treat her for her birthday. Just show her around the city and, you know, do some fun stuff. So she ended up coming that weekend or whatever. So time she got to the house, you know, like we're already ready to have a good time, you know, and one of the places that we had went to was a rooftop bar here in Birmingham. We had went like that night. It was probably like around like maybe 8 o'clock, something like that. So we went there. You know, it was real nice, city views, all that good stuff. We actually went inside because it was a little windy outside, so we had actually came inside. It's a little cold. This was actually like in, I think at the end of January, I want to say. Probably, you know what? No, it probably was like in February. It was like the early part of February, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it was the early part of February. I think it was like February the 9th or 10th, something like that. But it had been a month since I've been in therapy. I'll just say that. It had been a month. And so we were sitting down inside of the bar because, like I said, it had got cold outside. We came in. We were eating pizza, we were vibing, we were talking, we was having a good time. So I was sitting there and my phone had went off, y'all. So my phone went off, I saw that I had a text message. And the text message was from someone that was not saved. So when I opened the text message, I saw a screenshot of the platform that me and my therapist, which I'll call her Miss Ma'am, not gonna say her name, I'm gonna call her Miss Ma'am. I saw a message thread from Miss Ma'am and myself, and apparently she had wrote me on the platform, but I had been out. I haven't looked at it or anything. You know, I'm having a good time with my best friend for her birthday. So apparently she had tried to send me a message to let me know that she can no longer be my therapist. And when I saw the screenshot underneath it, I saw a message that said, "Hey, a dream, I'm so sorry." And then I see the screenshot of her telling me that she can no longer be my therapist. She thinks that it is in my best interest that I find a new therapist, and that I needed to contact customer service to get my money back. And if they don't give it back, she will personally give it back to me. And like I said, she said this on my personal number. So the first thing came to mind was, how the hell did she find my number? Because on the platform, everything is supposed to be, what's the word? Everything is supposed to be protected. So the only number that she really was supposed to see was like my emergency contact. I didn't know that our numbers could be visible on there, so I was really confused to know that she found my number. I know that we had only been talking on the chat or whatever when we're not on an actual session, but your phone number is never revealed, you know. I don't know her number, she should know mine, but like I said, it came through my personal number. So just keep that in mind, okay? Hold on to that. So, you know, I'm really startled at this point. My best friend is sitting across from me, and she's looking like, what's going on? Like, you good? Because my whole face had changed because I immediately felt hurt. and confused all at the same time. Because I'm like, is this a joke? Like, is this real? Like, what's going on? Like, what happened between the last time we talked and today? Because I hadn't talked to you. I hadn't done anything. So I'm confused as to why you're asking me to change therapists or whatever. But okay. So I'm like, hey, you know, I ended up responding, and I was like, you looking at my phone, and I'm just like, hey, you know, oh no, I'm really hating to hear this. I'm like, I'm so disappointed because I wasn't expecting this. I said, but you know, I understand. And I was just like, what happened? You know, if you don't mind me asking. And this is what she said. Oh, so when she had told me that we could no longer, you know, whatever, I was just expressing how shocked I was and how confused I was and how, you know, I was really feeling like I was improving, you know, and I was getting better. My best friend was even talking about how great I came across. I seemed happier. I seemed like I was, you know, more motivated. And for her to just hit me up and like kind of end it or whatever, it pulled me back a little bit. Like, wait, what happened? And so, like I said, I do have those messages to this day. I've always kept them. I never knew why I wanted to keep them, but I did. I kept them. So I'm going to read verbatim exactly what was said. So I'm going to be revealing exactly what she said verbatim in part 3 because of the lengthy explanation. I only get 10 minutes here. So make sure that you guys are following me.
We're going to make sure we do that. Now, look, before we get into part 3 and before we get to hear what was said, that was very inappropriate, in my opinion, for that therapist to message her personally. She could have said whatever she had to say on the app and moved on, you know, left the session where it was. When she got to it, she would have gotten to it. The therapist knew what she was doing. I'm trying to see, I wonder how many women she has done this to. Now, we haven't gotten all the way into the meat and potatoes of the story, but it is absolutely unprofessional for her to take whatever information, personal information, that was provided to her from that site. Now, I don't know, maybe she knows somebody who's on the other end that does the applications and say, hey, pull this person's name, what's their information, or if the site itself is lying when they say your information is confidential, we will not share this information with the therapist, boo bop the woo wop. I don't know who's, you know, doing the scheming and scamming and scamming and scheming. But either way, even though that therapist had access to the information, whether she went behind her company's back and met a friend in another department that can get the information, or if the site is providing that information to the therapist, she overstepped boundaries when she texted this woman phone. But I got a really good feeling that this therapist has done this before and she knows exactly what she's doing. Let's go ahead and get into part 3, y'all. Let's go.
Hey, y'all. So this is part 3 of From Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist. I just want to note that this series is for my healing and me being able to find my voice again. I hope that this reaches the right person so that you can too be freed and find your voice. So let's get into it. So I left off with talking about some things that my therapist said to me as to why she was ending the professional relationship, I would say. So I left off with telling y'all that my therapist confessed her feelings for me. And that she fell in love with me and all that good stuff. So we decided that we were going to go ahead and finish the
Miss Ma'am. You left off with telling us you were going to read those messages verbatim. What are messages at? Now we know, obviously, that the therapist was in love with her and that's why she ended the professional relationship. Hopefully, down the line, she read those messages because she totally left us hanging with that. But let's go.
The last 3 sessions that we had before we ended. So we got to our final session. Session went good. At the very end, she told me, she said, all right, this is the end. You have an option. You can either text me after this session because you have my number. from when I text you. Or we can end things here. You can continue on with your mental health journey and find a new therapist. So at this point, I'm like, bitch, the red pill or the blue pill? Like, which one do we take? So I get off the call like, okay. So I'm feeling all sorts of things after this, y'all. Like, I'm like, should I hit her up? Should I move on to another therapist? I was so fucking torn, y'all. Like, I didn't know what the fuck to do next. Like, so I ended up getting a text message, and it was like some dots. Like she was nudging me or something. So I'm like, okay. You know, that's when things got really interesting. So she started opening up to me about where she was in life and her whole reasoning for even reaching out to me from the get-go. So she started opening up to me about her ex, well, at the time, her fiance of 9 years had cheated on her. And I'm like, oh, damn. Okay. And she felt vulnerable.
Sound like she need therapy.
And that led her to reach out to me because she couldn't stop thinking about me. Can y'all believe that? So we started talking about meeting up. But she needed to sort some things out with her ex first, which I agreed because I wasn't really trying to like do anything serious like that. Like this all was just a lot for me, to be honest. So time went on. So I'm at work one day, right? It's Valentine's Day. I'm at work, you know, doing my thing. So I end up getting called to the front. And so when I went to the front, I saw this guy at the door, y'all, with 2 big bouquets of flowers and a bag of wine and some other miscellaneous stuff. And I'm just like, who this for? So when I finally got a chance to really look at everything when I got off, I realized there was a note on it, and it basically had her name. We're going to call her K. So it had her name or whatever. And there was the biggest bouquet was for me. The smaller one was for my daughter. And there was some cat food for my cat named Onyx. And there was a bottle of wine, my favorite. Girl, my favorite. How the fuck did you know that? So I'm sitting here like blown away because I'm just like, is this a coincidence or is it meant to be? Because, come on, universe, what we doing? So I started asking more questions about like her ex and, well, her, at the time, her fiance. We're going to call her Ashley. So I started asking about her and Ashley or whatever to get more understanding. So she told me that they lived together in a big mansion. And after finding out about cheating, she had her ex stay downstairs while she lived upstairs. And she said that she gave Ashley 6 months to get her shit together because she had to leave. So we started talking about like meeting up or whatever, but I told her I wasn't going to get involved with it because out of respect and for my peace, I just couldn't do that. So out of nowhere, she decided to speed things up. So instead of giving Ashley 6 months, she gave Ashley 2 weeks to get a job and get a place and get out. Now, mind you, she was the sole provider in this relationship. Ashley didn't work or whatever. Like, she just was, you know, housewife type situation. So she didn't have all that stuff going on. So this was a bit of an adjustment for her. And so when she told me about that, I kind of empathized, and I was just like, damn, like 2 weeks? How is that even possible? Like, I don't know. Like, I think you kind of rushing it a little bit. Like, we just met too. So, And it started making me question everything. Like, could she really end a 9-year relationship like that? Like, your whole fiance, y'all just got a house like a few months ago, like bought the house, 8-bedroom home. Like, how? So I found myself tangled up in a web of emotions because I just couldn't make sense of it. Like, it was just a lot to digest, honestly. So check this out. She told me that they communicate via email while living in the same house. Not text message, not phone calls, email. And they would have formal meetings at the house about their separation. And she'll tell me all about it. And I'll just be like, scratching my head. Say what now? I'm just thinking about all of this, y'all, trying to bring a full circle. So you're going from living with Ashley to wanting to start something with me in in a span time of 2 weeks. And then I just kept thinking about her Valentine's Day gesture. Like, I can't lie, y'all. Like, it blew my mind because it was the way that she remembered every single little thing about me. Things that I don't even remember telling her. If I did tell her in the sessions, like the fuck, like wine, roses. Like, why would we be talking about that? Like, it was the things that she knew about me that she couldn't have known. And so that's what really got me to thinking, like, damn, like, is it meant to be, or what is this? Like, she didn't just get me flowers, y'all. She got my daughter flowers. She got my cat some fancy feast. She got my favorite bottle of wine. Like it literally made me feel so seen. And I hadn't felt seen in so long, y'all. Like, it drew me to her. And it really just made me just fall. Like, if I wasn't falling in.
I had to pause it because this, for one, it's too many red flags going on. How she know where you work at? And maybe they talked about it. Maybe they discussed this and she just not telling us. But that's a question that I have, is how does she even know where you work? Now, it is sweet for a person to acknowledge you on those, holidays, Valentine's Day and all these other little girlfriend days and all of this stuff. It's nice. And then for someone to go above and beyond to acknowledge your child, pretty much letting you know, I accept your baby. Like, not only do I accept you, I accept your baby. So I'm not just trying to be in a relationship with you. I know that if we pursue something, you have a whole package deal. And I accept, the package deal, and then got something for the cat. So like she said, she never felt seen like that before, or in a long time. Take that back. She haven't felt seen like that in a long time. So this woman doing these things got her head over heels. But at some point, you got to take a step back and be like, well, hold on. You got me feeling good right now. I got the butterflies and everything. You know what I'm saying? I ain't felt like this in a minute. Like, you got it going. But let's look at how you are treating the person you've been in a relationship with, or just, I don't even know if the engagement has been 9 years or the relationship was 9 years. Either way, someone you've been with 9+ years and engaged to, next step was married. You meet me, and then in 2 weeks, you're rearranging your whole agreement with her. And I understand she did something wrong. She allegedly cheated on you, but you cheated on her too. And I don't know if it was get back or if y'all were cheating at the same time, but you're mentally in love with somebody that you're supposed to be helping in your therapy sessions. You done found out the person that you are providing advice and assisting and healing to is a lesbian, and you in love. Or I don't want to call her, I don't know if she's a lesbian, but she's into women, and now you're in love. And so the person you've been with for 9 years, you ready to just throw her out the house completely. She's a stay-at-home wife or girlfriend or fiance, stay-at-home fiance. So she doesn't have a job. She doesn't work. Whose idea was that? You see, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. We're gonna get back to the series because it's already, pretty lengthy. But you guys have to watch what you ask for. And I'm not saying that this young lady is asking for it, but I'm just talking about in general. You want somebody to take care of you fully. You want to be a housewife or a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home fiance or whatever the case may be. You want your mate to go out and work, make that money, even if they making money and they sleep. Even if they've already built their businesses, they got people running their businesses, and all they do is get up, go to the gym, and y'all travel. They bank account is just racking up by the second. They don't even got to put no more work in, whatever the case, right? But you want this person to take care of you. You don't want to have to work. If you work, it's because you got bored and you wanted to, or you wanted to pick up a new hobby or something like that. So you picked up a job. But you guys also have to ask for someone who is going to love and care for you, who is not going to use and abuse you, who is not going to take advantage of you. Because see, most people that I've heard have, failed marriages, and their husband or the other party is majority husband. I haven't heard too much with lesbians, but ain't nothing off limits with us. But their husband go out and work hard, take care of all the bills. They got 2 cars. She has her own car. He had his own car. But he was abusive as hell, mentally, physically. And it's like, yeah, girl, you got the nice ring. Yeah, girl, you got the nice car. Y'all got the biggest house on the block. Children taken care of because you're taking care of the children. You know, you're a stay-at-home wife. So children are taken care of. Y'all just got the perfect family, but whole time he whooping that ass. Or even if he's not physically harming her, because everything is not about, you know, physical, but he broke down your self-esteem, broke you down to the point to where you don't even know how to love yourself no more. Very controlling. When he walk in the door, you stop whatever you doing to cater to him. Like, just I don't care what you doing, you stop. You could be giving CPR to your youngest child. You stop that CPR and you come and greet me at the door because I said so. You know what I'm saying? So no one deserves to be mistreated in that way. If your mate says, I don't want you working, I'm going to take care of you. If that's something that you want, then accept. You know, if that's something you've been praying for, then accept it. But make sure with your prayer, you're adding in a secure mate that's going to take care of you. A whole mate that is going to take care of you. Not some insecure, cocky, manipulating, narcissistic human being. All right, let's get back to it, y'all. Let's get back to it.
Hey y'all, so welcome back. This is part 4 of From Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist. So where were we? Oh, Valentine's Day. So after Valentine's Day, y'all, we met in person a couple of days after. So it was a stormy night when she got there. We had got cozy. We had poured up some wine and we just cuddled. We didn't really talk much. I think that we were just in the moment and shocked that this was really happening. We didn't get intimate at all. We were just enjoying each other's company. Whole time she was there, I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, my therapist is here in the 3D. Like, and honestly, I found it so hard for me to separate the fact that she was my therapist and she was potentially someone that I could be in a relationship with. Like, I just couldn't separate the two for the life of me. And honestly, I even found that I had completely forgot about the healing that I even was needing when I came into the whole connection. I had completely been distracted. So at this time, she hadn't met my daughter yet. We felt that it was best if we just kind of, you know, be patient with that part of it since we had just met. I think it was February the 19th, if I have my notes right. She had booked an Airbnb where we would go to discuss business so I can just plan on rebuilding. Then we ended up getting out, having some drinks and stuff like that. She surprised me with the biggest bouquet I think I've ever gotten. It had 60 roses. Beautiful, y'all. So beautiful. And then she topped it off with my favorite wine, which is Moscato red wine. That weekend came and went. So on March 3rd of 2023, we made plans for me to see her house. Now, y'all remember me telling y'all she gave her fiance a 2 weeks notice now. Girl, you guessed it. Her ex-fiance had moved out. By this time, it was just her and her cousin. We're going to call her Shay. Shay was in high school. She was a nail tech, very popular in the city. She ran a nail shop on the lower part of her home. And Kay supported her through her entrepreneur journey because she had recently been living with her mom and they had been having issues. So apparently it's been working out for Kay and her cousin staying there. So when I visited her house for the first time, Kay, she was my therapist, she invited her friends over to meet me. Now, they were very welcoming. They actually knew a lot about me already. And I knew a little bit about them, so I was able to put faces to the names. So I ended up staying until the 5th, because remember, I came on March 3rd. So before I went home, look at me, can't even talk. Before I went home, we walked around the neighborhood, and she was showing me like different spots and different little places or whatever. And we had came across the house next door to her, which was abandoned. Now, the house looked like one of those old Victorian homes, but it was so beautiful, y'all. Oh my gosh, I loved it. And my daughter, she's a huge fan of Victorian houses, so I knew that she would love it if she saw it. So we had ended up going in, taking a tour and everything, and I was like, yeah, my daughter would like be all over this house. So she was just like, you know, you should bring her so she could see it. So I had went to my mom's house to get my daughter, because she was there. My daughter is a teenager, by the way. At this time, she was like 13. So I was telling my daughter about the whole experience. I was talking about Kay and everything, and how her cousin Shay had a nail shop in the house. So my daughter was like, oh, that's lit. You know, she hyped. Like, oh, I want to see it. You know, all that. She was hype about it. So my daughter was already familiar with Kay because she know we would be on FaceTime, although she had never seen her, right? Kay had also saw my daughter on FaceTime. Most of the time that she saw her, she was dancing. My daughter is a huge NBA YoungBoy fan. When I tell y'all, like from the poster to the blankets with his face on it, she is crazy about this rapper. Kay knew that. She knew that Zaya loved his music because she was always dancing and blasting it whenever we would be on FaceTime. So they both were equally excited to meet one another in person. So we end up getting to the house. We were pulling up, actually. It was like nighttime. And so my daughter was like, where's Kay's house? And I was like, oh, it's coming up. It's right here. And she was like, that's the house? She was like, oh my God. Mama, you ain't tell me she live in a mansion? At this point, I'm just giggling. I wouldn't say it was a mansion, but it was a very large home. And my daughter and I, we had never experienced a large home like that. So for her, it was big as hell. So Kay was like, you know, y'all can go ahead and come in. The door is open or whatever. So we end up going in the house. And as we're walking in, my daughter was like, wait a minute. So she walked around the corner and she heard YoungBoy. So she followed the sound. So it got louder as we got closer to the room where YoungBoy was playing. So it was nobody in the room, but YoungBoy was on the TV. So, you know, and it was playing loud, and my daughter just broke out dancing. She like, hey, you know, she hyped. She in the room, and she, you know, my daughter loves black, okay? Her favorite color is black. The entire room is black. The comforter black, the furniture black, you know, it's perfect. So Kay ended up sending me a message and was like, hey, it sounds like y'all are enjoying the house. She was like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm super nervous to meet your daughter. Like, I don't really know how to just walk in. And I'm like, you're good, you know? Come on. So she, you know, walking into the room with a face cover. And I'm just like, oh, my God. So my daughter's like, you nervous? It's like, it's okay. You don't have to be nervous. And it was so cute. So it broke Kay out of her shell. And she went on and introduced herself or whatever. So she ended up telling my daughter how we met, like the real story. Now, mind you, my daughter is the only person outside of my best friend Jasmine that knows the story. So yeah. So my daughter's very mature. So she's like, well, okay, so you met my mom as a client, you know, how do we not know that, you know, you're not gonna do the same thing again and meet someone else, you know? And
exactly.
She was just like, oh, no, that would never happen. I don't even talk to my clients or anything like that. It was just something so special about your mom that drew me to her. My daughter, she's still in love with the house after all of that, you know, and she's like, oh my God, Mom, like, we deserve a house like this. We need to move here. Let's move here. I can go ahead and start looking at schools and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, shawty, hold on.
She's a kid.
I mean, the house is nice and all, you know what I'm saying? But let's not get it twisted. Like, we don't know this lady. After our trip, we went home. And Kay had said that how much she enjoyed meeting my daughter, how it turned out better than she thought. And she thought it was a good idea if we all was to hang out. So we decided on making plans to go to a buffet where we can just kind of sit down, talk, you know, just really bond so she can get to know Desire a bit more. So the conversation about us moving there came up. So I wasn't really into it. I immediately shut it down. Like, I just felt a feeling in my stomach, and I was just like, nah. Yeah. Like, it's way too soon to be talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they both were all with it. She convinced Zai convinced her.
Kid,
you know, it was just like 2 against 1, and I was like, look, I don't want to keep talking about this. The answer is no. So they end up dropping it or whatever. and we was able to finish, at the buffet. Now, something happened that made me start to question everything. But it was one of those moments where you just know things are about to change, but you just don't know if it's for the better or for the worse. I'll catch y'all up in part 5.
Girl.
Hey, y'all. So welcome back. Welcome back to my series From Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist. This is part 5. If you remember from part 4, I talked about how Kay and I met for the first time after speaking with each other for about a month. And then we talked about our quick getaway to an Airbnb where she surprised me with 60 roses. And we talked about how I met her cousin, a couple of her friends after seeing her home for the first time. And I also talked about how my daughter was able to meet her for the first time and seeing the house and how in love with it she was. Okay, so let's jump into it. So my job started cutting hours like real bad, and I felt like they had started to mistreat me. So I was telling Kay about it, and she was just like, yeah, I really think you should consider leaving there because it's starting to affect you mentally and physically. And I noticed that it's what you've been talking about lately. I don't want you to...
I know where this is going. Hold on. All right, y'all, I had to go get me something to drink. Let's get back to it. Let's go.
What she said, she was like, I don't want you to suffer while trying to pay your bills. And she was all right. Can't lie, because it definitely was stressing me out. It became super toxic, and I just started looking for better opportunities from there. So the search wasn't going so well. I had been a full-time business owner for so long, so getting back into the job market had me looking sideways like, what is going on? Why is it so damn hard to find a job that pays money? Like, the economy is not the same. So I had to talk with myself. I was just like, okay. So it's a possibility that me renewing my lease is probably not going to be the best idea, because if I can't find a job that's going to be able to fully support me financially, me and my daughter, then I'm going to be back in the same hole. So I was thinking maybe I should take up my mom's offer of us coming back to her home just for at least 6 months to a year or so I can really rebuild myself so I won't get myself further into debt, because that's where I was headed. I had almost got evicted from the damn apartment, so I was just like, I just can't go back there, y'all. It was just too painful. Kay had already helped me mentally with that transition, so I'm just glad it worked out before it went that far. So I had told Kay about my idea of moving to my mom's, so she didn't think it was a good idea, and I was just like, So what you want me to do, stay in this shit? She was just like, no, I think moving back to your mom's is going to make you complacent. And after you put your stuff in storage, you're going to be in a 1-bedroom, and that's not going to be comfortable. So I thought about it, and I was just like, me, almost 30, with my teenager, moving back to my mom's in a 1-bedroom, putting all my stuff in storage. Ooh, that is definitely a transition. I ain't think about it that deep. So the topic of us moving in with her came up again. And she painted the picture of how great it was going to be on me mentally and financially. So I pondered about it. And I agreed. It had only been a month since we met in person. And this was decided in March of 2023. My lease was up in July. But leaving before then would probably make a better transition. So I plan to break my lease and move in May instead. I already know what you're thinking. I'm just here to tell my story, so let's get through it. I remember telling my mom like it was yesterday. I was sitting on her porch and afraid to talk about it. But I brought it up. I thought she was going to talk me out of it. But shockingly, she didn't. So she asked me, she said, okay, how long have you been knowing Kay? And I told her for a while now, I kind of quickly answered because, like, I didn't want to describe what a wow was. Because if I had said what I was supposed to have said, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking about this shit. So I shared with her how much Kay had helped me and how she was helping me get my business off the ground again. My mom knew how much my business meant to me. So hearing anything about my business on the up, she was going to be in agreement with. So she said to me, I know you're grown and capable of making the best decision for yourself. I'm just concerned about Zai. How does she feel about it? Like, what does she think? I told her that, hell, Zai more excited than me. She the one that convinced me that I should go ahead and, and do it or whatever. So she smiled and laughed a little bit and said, okay, with a relieved look. She seemed like she was more okay with the fact that we'll be leaving. But I can still see a little bit of sadness because we had always visited my mom. And so she felt like when we moved, she'll never see us again. But I told her that I'll still come and visit. So at this time, I still had my wig shop. Things were not improving. I actually wasn't in my wig shop that much because, hell, I was always in goddamn Montgomery. And then equally, I had already transitioned to doing hair from the house. So the shop was just sitting there. So I had already made plans to go ahead and close my shop. So because when I got the space, I had remodeled it completely, put new flooring, painting, new stuff, cabinets, all this stuff inside of there. I was actually able to negotiate with the person who owned the building, owned the space or whatever, to take money off of the balance because when I move out, it's basically just going to be move-in ready for the next person. And so Kay helped me with that, with the negotiation process, and we did exactly what we was aiming to do. So we was able to get out of it and close it out with a $0 balance. So then it came the process of actually closing the shop. Y'all, it was the most painful process. Like when I tell y'all, that was probably one of my most biggest accomplishments yet. It really was. I put everything I had into this space, y'all. My whole world. When I walked into my shop every day, y'all, like I saw me. It was a physical representation of me, and I'll show y'all what it looked like. When I tell y'all, like, So a Dream was my everything, y'all. And when it closed, I just feel like I died. Like, I couldn't even move my stuff. Like, she actually arranged to move my stuff with my stepdad, and they moved it all to Montgomery. I could not physically be there. I couldn't take it. I'm sorry. So let's talk about the process of picking up my life and moving it all to another city in part 6. Welcome.
Whew.
Hey y'all. So welcome back to my video diary from
Y'all, just a reminder, this is a 30-part series, so y'all know we gonna, break this up or whatever, but I'm really just taking in what she's saying. I really don't have many words. Y'all drop down in the comments what y'all think so far for what she's saying, how y'all feeling about the storytelling. Let me know. I want to know in the comments. Let's get it.
Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist, part 6. I appreciate everyone being so patient. This has been a lot for me to reflect on so I can be able to talk about it. So I'm going to do the best that I can. So I left off with me making the decision to move out of my apartment to Montgomery instead of moving back to my mom's. So this move started out rocky. Just to take you guys back with me, we were packing at least the day before. We had been packing for some time, but I'm not the best packer, okay? So I got overwhelmed with packing, so Kay stepped in to help me out. She had helped Zaya, my daughter, and then it was me because I had a lot of stuff. I had to make the decision on what I was going to keep, what I was going to throw away. So while I am packing my stuff and deciding on what I'm going to throw away, I noticed that she felt the way about it. Like, she was very controlling. She was just like, you know, she was just saying things like, I have it in my hand. You don't need that. Throw it away. You're not going to use that. Throw it away. That's just taking up space. Dream, you need to learn how to let things go. So I'm like, excuse me, but I'm the one who's here having to pack up everything and move to a whole nother city. Like, hold on now. You've been a little too rough with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to process everything. This is a lot. Like, I'm having a hard time right now. You know what I'm saying? So I might actually throw things away once I get to where I'm going. I don't know. So we end up having some words or whatever because she felt like I
understand both sides. Okay, I understand both sides of this is my stuff and I'm packing up my stuff. You know, I'm coming to your house, so don't tell me, you know, what to have or what not to have. But then I also understand Kay is like, I don't want all this junk in my house. And that's just one of the crazy things about it. It's like when you in someone else's home, they can tell you, don't bring this, don't bring that. That's not allowed here. I don't like that. Just like, for example, her daughter, you know, she said her daughter's 13 years old. Cool. But what if her daughter was like into slime or Play-Doh? You know, the stuff that people typically be like, I don't allow in my house. And that was her daughter's hobby, was to create slime every weekend or after school. She no longer can do slime because you guys are moving into someone else's house. That's why I always think it's best if you are going to move with a person, you guys move together. You know, and I know her situation is very unfortunate and everything is happening quick and she is facing an eviction, which she could have waited until it was time for her to move, but she decided to break the lease and get things rolling. You know what I'm saying? The eviction is, you know, already kind of in play. It's already rolling. So why wait till they try and come and throw my stuff out? Or why wait, you know, a month or two later and dragging out going to court and all that when I could just leave now? Like, you know, kind of get ahead of it in a sense. And then the therapist basically just moved into that house, according to her, just moved into that house not too long ago. So she's not finna pack up her stuff and then they move together. So I could see where this situation itself is tricky, but I just believe in moving in together, you know, signing the lease. My name is on it. Your name is on it. You can't kick me out. I can't kick you out. You know, we can sit down and compromise with each other with what's allowed, what's not allowed. And then she has her baby, you know, in the mix. Now, if she was just a single woman moving in with her or they're moving together, that would be one thing. But then you're bringing a baby and you have a pet and now you got somebody telling you what you can and cannot have in their house, you know. And I understand her not wanting to go to her mom's house because her mom's house, you know, mama got a 1-bedroom. It's her mama. She would have been cool. She would have been cared for. You know what I'm saying? But mama got a 1-bedroom. It's going to be cramped. What she got gonna have to get a storage for her stuff because she can't really take it all with her there either. But at least with your mama, you know that's your mama. So even if she getting on your nerves, even if y'all bump a little head or whatever, that is your mama. She going to love you unconditionally. But you moving into this big house, you know, we're going to call it the mansion. You moving into the mansion. And before you can even really get in there and put your bags down, Kay already telling you, nah, you need to go and get rid of that. Nah, you need to go. Like, y'all still do not know each other enough for her to tell you what you do or do not need. You don't know me enough to tell me that I don't need that. But let her finish.
Actually throw things away once I get to where I'm going. I don't know. So we end up having some words or whatever because she felt like I was basically just not listening to what she was saying. So I'm just like, well, you can just go ahead on about your way. Let me do this. So something about Kay that I noticed quickly was that she was really good at feeling as though she had like all the answers. And I don't know if it was because of the dynamic of the connection or what it was, but it was almost like I couldn't make decisions for myself. I didn't have a voice and I didn't like that. So one word led to another, and before I knew it, I was just like, bro, you being a bitch right now. Because she was. But she shut completely down. And that's something I want y'all to understand about her character, because as the story progresses and we get to the meaty part of everything, you're going to understand. So the movers were already set to come at a certain time. I was able to finish with packing up and everything. So it came time for us to go and get the truck before the movers came. It didn't go like that. And she even made a statement like, you know what? We'll just put your stuff in storage and you can go and live with your mom. And I'm like, but why? Like, I'm so confused because now I've already paid for movers. I packed up all my stuff. I'm breaking my lease. Why the fuck would I break my lease 2 and 3 months early just to go and rush and live with my mom? Like, no, like, here I am apologizing. Like, can you please help? I'm so sorry. So we end up going to get the truck or whatever. Now, she drove her car. I rode with her to pick up the truck. Now, she was supposed to let me drive her car, and she was going to hop in the truck, and we was going to take it back to the house. To my surprise, she wasn't driving that truck. She said, I'll meet you at the house. So, yeah, the movers got there. We ended up loading the truck and everything. So I pulled the guy to the side, and I was just like, I can't tell you all the details, but I really, really need you to do something for me, and I will pay you. And I told him, and he was just like, oh yeah, I got you. Like, my partner here drive my truck, my personal truck, and I'll drive the U-Haul or whatever, and y'all just follow me over there. And I was just like, oh my God, this man. So we ended up making it to Montgomery or whatever, loaded up all our stuff. And in the process, I didn't see Kay anywhere. I'm like, where the fuck she at? Kind of find out she in the backyard just sitting down. I said, so you're not going to help direct anything? Like, this is your house. You know where you want your stuff. So the movers are done. The furniture has been placed. My daughter, she looked at me like in a confused look, and I was like, look, we gonna be good, okay? I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to stress. Let's go and let's get out and get something to eat. And so that's when Kay came out of nowhere, like, hey. So she's like apologizing. And so weeks pass. We end up, going out in the city. She ended up giving us a tour, just making us feel at home. Things were getting a bit better, I would say. We started out rocky, but things started to get really, really good. So fast forward, one morning she had texted my phone and was like, hey, want to have a quick meeting real quick or whatever. And I'm like, meeting? Okay. So I came downstairs or whatever to her office. So, she was just like, hey, I really been enjoying y'all here. It's been real cool. I'm not looking for any rent or any payments or anything financially from you, at least for the next 3 months. So within a few weeks of that conversation, I ended up landing a gig with her loctician. Her loctician was looking for a branding manager for her business. In addition to me being a wig stylist, I was my very own branding marketing manager. I was fire at it. I had a meeting with her. It went really, really well over lunch. And then we had a contract set up, and I became her branding manager. So after I had left brunch with the stylist or whatever, I had told Kay about the situation, and she was super proud. Like, she was just like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Okay, Dream, I see you out here making moves, doing your thing. Like, I love to see it. It made me feel really, really good. Kay was really big about celebrating, right? So it doesn't matter how big or small, she always wanted to celebrate. So I want to note something about Kay, okay? Kay was an impulsive spender, so she wouldn't care what the cost would be, okay? She would swipe her card, and if that thing go through, we all good. Now that you know that, put it in your back pocket. I started to hang out with the stylist quite a bit. I would go to her salon. We would do content. So we had a really great relationship, right? So one day we were just, riding in the car or whatever, and she was just telling me some stuff, So we were talking business stuff, and so she asked me if I mind riding with her to Hobby Lobby. And I was like, yeah, girl. On the way to Hobby Lobby, before she dropped me back off to my car, she was just like, so how's everything been going? What do you think about Montgomery? So we're going to call the loctician Tisha, okay? So Tisha was like, I wasn't expecting to meet you so soon, I know Kay had been talking about you when she come in for her appointments, but I didn't know you were coming to Montgomery to move here. So I was like, yeah, I was like, things just kind of happened pretty fast. And she was like, yeah, it did. She was like, kind of too fast, girl. Like, dang, y'all doing it like that, you know, type thing. She was like, you know, I think you're a very beautiful girl. I think you're very ambitious. You know, I love your drive. You know, I just want to make sure that, you know, you're making the best decision for yourself, you know. So anytime you don't feel comfortable or, you know, like, girl, you got to do what's best for you. So when she was saying it, I was just like, what's she trying to say? So at this point, sis is speaking in codes. Girl, what you know? What's tea? I instantly felt judged. I was just like, damn, she probably just like, girl, you done made the biggest mistake of your damn life and you don't even know it, but it's okay. I'm your friend now. So after that connection, Kay had hit me up while I was in the store. So she was just like, what you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm in Hobby Lobby with Tisha. And she was just like, still? Like, y'all not done? And I was just like, well, we're almost done. And then she was just like, okay, it's just been a while. Like, you know, I'm just trying to see, you know. And that's when Tisha was like, don't worry, I'm bringing her home. It's okay. I almost felt like she was protecting me because she probably didn't know what the hell was going to happen when I got back to the house. You know what I'm saying? So when I got back to the house, everything was actually cool. Briefly talked about Tisha and our, you know, exchange or whatever for the day and what that was like. And, you know, she expressed that she was really proud of me. So, you know, nothing crazy happened. So after all of that, we started to have a discussion about what we were going to wear to, at the time, my best friend's wedding. Now, this best friend name is, we're going to call her Jay. It's a different friend from the one that I initially talked about that was also in therapy too, right? So just stay with me. So Jay was having her wedding in Birmingham, which meant that we would have to drive like an hour and a half to Birmingham. So this is supposed to be the first time that my best friend met my therapist, now girlfriend, if she gets a chance to. I'll catch y'all up in part 7. Welcome back to my series From Trust to Trauma. Hey y'all, welcome to my video diary series From Trust to Trauma with Dating My Therapist, part 7. As you have heard in the last one, we were talking about us getting ready for my best friend at the time wedding, Jay. And in this one, I'm going to explain how that went down. So stay tuned. So Jay was having her wedding in Birmingham, which meant that we would have to drive like an hour and a half to Birmingham. Mm-hmm. Kay and I had already had the colors of my best friend's wedding. And so we were going to be matching or whatever for the wedding. So the day had came. And so we decided that we was going to drive separate cars because I probably was going to stay a little bit longer than Kay wanted to. And she also had to get her hair done. So I was like, okay, well, you go ahead and get your hair done. I'm going to go ahead and head to Birmingham. Okay, so boom. I'm in Birmingham and I'm getting myself ready. I had just did my wig, you know, and everything. I had just laid out my clothes, went to the cleaners to pick it up. Y'all, I had been on a roll, but I was ready. I hadn't talked to Kay until like it got closer to the time it was time for the to the wedding. I had noticed that when I had hit her up and I went back to doing what I was doing and I checked back, I didn't see a message from Kay. And I'm like, where's she at? So I'm like, hey, you good? I'm calling her or whatever. And she was just like, hey, I don't have the money to get my hair done. And I'm like, you don't have the money to get your hair done? What? Now, I ain't got it either, sis, but I'm finna give it to you because you coming to this damn wedding. So she was like, oh, I went on and canceled my appointment with Tisha or whatever, so it's good. I'm going to just go ahead and do it myself or whatever. I've already started the process of retwisting it. Bro, at this point, if this girl don't show up to this wedding, I will flip because ain't no way you finna embarrass me like this. Y'all, like, I had called and called, like, hey, like, what's up? Where you at? What you doing? How far you got? Like, is you coming? Yeah, I'm coming. Yada, yada. Okay, cool. You on the way? Like, shit, the wedding gonna be in the next hour. It's gonna take you an hour to get here. Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. Okay. So at this point, my best friend is like, where's Kay? Where your boo? I'm just like, she coming. She's a little behind,
Allegedly.
She had a rough start, whatever. She's like, okay, girl, don't worry about it. It's gonna be good. We're gonna be fine. Even if she pull up late, it's all good. Like, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna get through this. And I'm like, girl, like, it's your fucking wedding. Like, you ain't even got no business trying to consult me right now. So my best friend had got married. She had walked down the aisle. And I was there. But there was no Kay. Can y'all believe that?
Yep.
She stood me up, bro. She stood me up. But why? What was she doing? Like, what was the reason you didn't come? Like, this was a really big moment, and I was supposed to be a part of it with a +1. Like, really? I can't even make this shit up, y'all. Like, was she with somebody? Like, did the ex come over? Like, somebody else came over? Like, y'all, like, when I tell y'all, my mind was all over the place, and I was getting pissed because I'm supposed to be engaged in this event, and you're all the way a whole hour and a half away.
Girl.
And I still got to go to the reception part. Like, so the wedding came, and it went. The reception came, and it went. And still no Kay. So at this point, I'm calling you, I'm texting you, I'm not getting no answer. At this point, I'm no longer enjoying myself where I'm at. I'm just focused on what's going on. So my best friend is like, at the time, she was just like, it's good, girl, go ahead and check on her. You know what I'm saying? She's showing that she cares. She's like, go check on her, make sure she's okay. Because it's odd that she was supposed to be here and now you can't get in contact with her. Like, that's so weird. So I decided that I was going to hit the road and go to Montgomery and pull up on her to see why the fuck you ain't show up and what's going on. What are you doing? So the closer I get to Montgomery, the more worried I got. Like, as I was getting off the exit and driving down the street where we stayed and turning on the street, my heart started pounding because I didn't know what I was going to walk in and find. I didn't know whether she was with somebody, or I didn't know whether she was mentally unstable. I didn't know if she was going to be laid out, somebody that did something to her. Because, I did tell you that her ex used to live there, So it's like, at this point, I need to make sure she's alive. So I'm doing a welfare check at this point. So when I pulled up, I saw her car. And it was just her car. And, like, y'all, like, I got chills right now on my arm. Like, I literally didn't know what the hell I was going to see. I couldn't believe, like, when I walked in and saw what I saw, I couldn't even believe it. Because I was just like, bro, what the whole fuck just happened? Like, she was okay before I left. Like, I had just talked to her earlier, and she did sound a little off or whatever because she said she couldn't pay for her hair and she had canceled her appointment, which was very weird because she never did that. So I'm just like, what the hell? Y'all, I walked through the door.
Girl, push that shit out.
And I saw shit all on the floor. Like, I saw, like, alcohol bottles, clothes, food. And so as I was turning the corner from everything I was seeing, hell, I was scared to go to the room because I was just like, I don't, and I'm like, Kay, Kay, are you okay? Can you hear me? No answer. I'm like, bro, if she dead, I am fucked because this is going to be a crazy ass explanation. I walked into the room where she was, and I saw she was covered up. And y'all, like, I took my hand to, like, pull the covers back. This motherfucker looking dead in my damn face when I pulled the covers back scared me shitless, eyes open. She was asleep. She was asleep with her eyes open. Y'all, I thought this motherfucker was deceased. I'm like, wake your ass up. She get up, she look. She like, I said, are you serious? So she had like the clips in her head, like when you get rid of retwist or whatever, your locks, she had those twists all over her head. Like, she was like, oh, I was doing my hair and I guess I had fell asleep. I didn't even know what to say at this point.
At least she wasn't dead.
I didn't know what to say. Like, so I need to give y'all a time. So this was at like after midnight, okay? This is late. This is super late. So she wasn't really talking for real, you know? So I'm like, you know what? Scoot over. I'm going to get into bed. I'm going to go to sleep because I'm tired as hell. First of all, I'm lit, okay? We was drinking like crazy after the fucking wedding. And then I done drove all the way here, tipsy as hell, drunk, damn near. And you done this just done fucking tripped me out. You just, fuck it, I'm going to bed. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So tomorrow came, and y'all not even gonna believe what she revealed to me. I still can't believe it to this day. But you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all about it in part 8 though.
Ooh-wee.
Hey y'all.
Ooh-wee. Y'all, what y'all think she revealed? We gonna figure it out, you know, on the next video. I'm gonna end this one right here, all right? So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, all right? I will be looking for y'all thoughts down in the comment section. I want to hurry up and get to part 8. I'm ready to get into the meat and potatoes, okay? So look, if you like videos like this and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace, the motherfucking building.
Run it up was up. JBRISKO, not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera roll.